In this tutorial, we're going to talk about the glottal stop. The glottal stop is an allophone of t. When t happens at the beginning of a word, our tongue goes up to the alveolar ridge, strikes it, and comes down. At the beginning of a syllable, it's accompanied by a puff of air. Tip, tom, touch. There's another allophone of t where the tongue does not strike the alveolar ridge, or if the tongue is up at the alveolar ridge, the constriction is actually made way in the back of the throat. So an example of that will contrast. I could say button and use an aspirated T. I could also say button and use the alveolar tap. And I could also say but. And the constriction occurs as my tongue goes up for the syllabic end. Button, button. That is a glottal stop. Sometimes people think that the T is gone. It's elided. Oh, I didn't say a T. I say button. But you are saying a T, because if you weren't saying a T, it would be bun, bun. And that's different. So the fact that you hear the constriction after the vowel tells you that there is something there, and that point of constriction is an allophone of t. Let me give you a few more examples so you can listen for the glottal stop. Mountain, kitten, Dayton, hot and cold. You might also find it in unexpected places depending on dialect. So if I were to say a bit of tea, I wouldn't normally use a glottal stop there, but someone else might. I would tend to say a bit of tea. There's another aspect of the glottal stop that I want to talk about. And that's when you produce tension before a vowel. So let me give you an example. I could say as if, and I've gone into the vowel as, and then you can hear the z go into the next syllable, as if. There's another way I could say it, and that's starting with a point of tension before the vowel. I could say, as if, as if. And you can hear the tension before the vowel. Those are glottal stops. This is a little bit different because there's no phonemic value. It's not standing for a building block of a phoneme. It's not standing in place of a different version of a T sound. It's just the way that I'm going into the vowel. This will be relevant later on in narrow transcription. We might show these vowels, which are sometimes called hard attack, where you go into the vowel with tension. It's clinically relevant because when you eventually talk about stuttering, you may, in therapy, try to get children who stutter to avoid this tension before a vowel. And you might encourage them to do what's called an easy onset, where instead of saying as if, you're going to go as if. And you're going to try to slowly ramp up into the vowel without that tension, because tension can trigger a stutter. So these are different examples of the glottal stop. I hope this helps.